Today we're going to talk about, we're going to have eyewitness accounts from the 1700s of mind landscapes in the afterlife, which is going to reveal to us a crucial mechanism about how the spiritual world works.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's also going to give us a sense of like, oh, the kind of mind I have is going to dictate what the place around me is like and how I can make that a nice place. Okay?
Yeah, that's right. It's improvable. Like you can, if you don't like your landscape, there's something you can do about it.
It's, we're giving you like a spiritual horticultural lesson here. It's fascinating.
Where else do you get this?
It's the reason why you have biblical imagery about gardens like the Garden of Eden. It's the reason why you feel the way you do when you're in nature and in gardens and things. So I'm going to hit you with two principles first.
Okay.
Set the scene for this. And this is describing afterlife based on, if anyone's not familiar, these are the accounts of the 18th century genius philosopher turned mystic. Some would say lost his mind. Others would say saw the truth. You be the judge. These are his, which was a subset of I think the most complete set of spiritual experiences ever recorded.
Yeah.
Or most extensive or whatever. So this is from his book, Heaven and Hell, talking about his travels in the afterlife. Here we go. To angels who are focused on intelligence, there appear gardens and parks full of all kinds of trees and flowers. The trees there are laid out in the loveliest designs, joined into vaulted arches offering spaces for entrance, and with promenades,
but
potato, promenades around them. All this is so beautiful as to defy description. So forget that description we just gave you.
That's right.
It's better than you're picturing. There are kinds of tree and flower there never seen, not even possible in our world. In the trees, too, there are fruits in keeping with the quality of love these intelligent angels are absorbed in. I'll come back and talk about a few of these things.
Yes.
They see such things because a garden and a park and the fruit trees and flowers correspond to intelligence and wisdom.
That's quite a statement. And you do have this idea over in different traditions, I think, of where people go to the afterlife and there's a garden. Isn't there the idea in ancient Greek mythology of the Elysian fields, where you go after you die? And didn't, there was something about Black Elk Speaks. I think he's got something about the garden, the grasslands that he's going to go to. And
you have, Zen gardens. You have people all over the world cultivating the land in certain ways to try to feel something or connect to something. And here it's saying that you have that in the afterlife too, but this is directly based on the minds of the angels who are there. And Swedenborg uses the term angels just to mean people like us. Well, maybe not exactly like us, but good people.
Better people. Yeah.
Real good people.
Real good people.
I'm giving this the impression the bar is really high. I'm just saying, we got some issues. Most people are going to be great angels.
Yeah.
And when you're there, if you're focused on intelligence, which there's angels that are focused on different things, if you're focused on intelligence, around you appears all that stuff we just said, because that's the kind of thing that's in your mind. In keeping with the fruits are in keeping with the quality of the love these intelligent angels are absorbed in. So you would walk, there's a tree that's amazing, it's got a fruit that you never seen before, and it's there and you pick it and you eat it, and it is the embodiment of some good love that you have. that closes the loop, man. So you have like feelings and thoughts inside you, and then you have stuff outside you, like you eat things to survive and you see things, but there it's like it's all one. Like the love you have in your heart manifests as this thing, and that thing can sustain you,
Yeah, and it's very helpful to, one of the great mysteries about being in this life on this planet is that we don't know much about what each other are thinking or feel. You know, there's a little element of mystery, isn't there? A lot of the time, well, where are you coming from, or what's your motivation? You know, what are you
it's
doing?
so much of a bother. It can be. So, you know, privacy is good, but you're trying to help somebody. You're trying to figure out, like, what do you need? What are you thinking about? There's a lot of miscommunications.
Yeah, and just an element of mystery. When Swedenborg's in the afterlife, he's able to use the circumstances in which he sees people. You know, sometimes he sees people in situations where they're just in this little hut that's kind of badly constructed and has kind of cracks in the in the structure, and so he knows. Oh, okay, yeah, their state of mind is not very solid right now. You know, there's something going on with them. Oh, or he sees people in some beautiful area, or someone who's talking a good game, but it's just you know, gravel, like it's just a gravel field or something. And those things can be really beautiful in this world. But he can judge, oh, there's no fruit here, nothing's growing.
So the spiritual world is why is it like this, and why does it matter to us? So the spiritual world, y'all are in it right now. Like the mental part of us is spiritual. According to Swedenborg, your consciousness is spiritual. So to go and learn this stuff about the minutia of the way the spiritual world works, it's helping us figure out how the mind works.
This is this so what, isn't it?
Because when you're trying to figure out, wait, what's really going on with something, you're trying to look past the physical reality to the spiritual reality. Because how many million documentaries are there? There's some entertainer or athlete or something who seems like they have it all together, and they have a great house, and it's a condo, and it's looking out over the bay, but yet they've got some addiction or something. And so you actually their external circumstances, you're trying to peer past that into what's going on in the mind.
What's really going on? That's
in the spiritual world, there's a transparency. Like you can see what's going on in the mind from what's going on around.
It's an honest world. Yeah.
And that is because of this principle that's called correspondences. At the last sentence there, which I put a square around that word, correspond, you know, I did my work here. The garden and a park and the fruit trees and the flowers correspond to intelligence and wisdom.
So they correspond to these human traits, and yet they're manifest in things that the sort of classical way of categorizing things is that those are not, that's not human, that's grass, that's a plant, this is a animal, this is a bird.
It's all more interconnected than that. So if you go out and you look at some kind of beautiful landscape, you're seeing an image of intelligence. Like if you had to draw, if you had, what's that game where you got to try to draw things that are abstract and you're cranium, it's not cranium, but something like that. If God were to draw intelligence, he would draw this land, this park, this landscape, this beautiful field of growing things, because that's how the mind works. He's saying you can learn from that how your mind works, because just like in a field, there are seeds that then need water and light and heat, which will then grow into plants, which will reproduce. That's exactly how it is in your mind with true things or false things. That seed gets in, they grow, they germinate. If you need light, which is like the truth that shines on it from God, you need the love to make it grow. Your mind follows that same pattern. That's all.
And I think we experience this sometimes where you meet a new person and sometimes it's like, whoa, there's a lot going on in this person, you know?
Yes.
A lot of interesting thoughts and this is connected with that and this is connected with, you know, there's just this rich, I can kind of see a tiny bit how that would manifest in the spiritual world as just a lot of vegetation with different kinds of fruit and different. Yeah.
We have to explain this, everyone, in case you're wondering why. Why are they laying out this? Why are they still talking about this? You know, in Christmas Carol, when it's like, the Marleys were dead to begin with, that you must know, or nothing that follows will seem wondrous. This you must know, or everything that follows in our 4 accounts of these gardens of the afterlife will seem arbitrary.
Yeah.
It will seem like he's just making it up.
Sure.
It's some poorly written fantasy novel without a lot of rules around its magic system or something. But this is the system by which you'll see then why these gardens emerge like they do. By the way, it's the same system if you go and people that have near-death experiences and they see landscapes and they even see buildings and stuff. This is a system that by which those things come into existence as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And I haven't heard of near-death experiences. I haven't read them all. I don't know them all, but I haven't heard of ones that happen in no context. Or like you're out in the middle of deep space or something. No, there's hills and there's fields and there's, but you can sort of zoom, if you just focus your attention, you can go over to this next area. Yeah. And they describe a level of beauty and aliveness that they can't really put it into words, but that every single thing in the landscape, the air is alive. All the things are alive in a way that this world is relatively dead, even though we're surrounded by what we call life here too. It's an amazing amount of life on this planet.
The life comes from the spirit. Like the physical matter, according to Swedenborg, is dead. Everything that's alive is because it has something spiritual in it. Okay, this is the other foundation piece here, and this is about how you can have your mind that way as well. It says, this is again from Swedenborg, people of the church are also like gardens in respect to their intelligence when they possess goodness of love from the Lord, because the spiritual warmth that enlivens them is love, and spiritual light is resulting intelligence. That's what I was trying to say about you're like the field.
Oh, okay.
People know that these two, warmth and light, cause gardens in the world to bloom. It is the same in heaven. Paradisal gardens are seen in heaven, with trees bearing fruit in accordance with the inhabitants' wisdom that springs from their goodness of love from the Lord.
It makes so much sense when he says it that way to me, that the whole point is that even though he's talking about intelligence and how intelligence manifests in the other world, that it's not just a matter of light or thought. What makes you intelligent is a loving heart. That's what takes you to the next level. And of course, with growing things, if you just have light and you have no warmth, nothing happens.
Yeah, intelligence is love. Love is intelligence. Wisdom is love. That's cool. To say, look, what's the peak of getting it is when you start to understand that love matters. You were talking about near-death experiences. That's what everybody comes back from. I was just watching yesterday. There was, I don't remember his name, but he's a famous actor. Oprah was interviewing him, got crushed by a snowplow. You guys can Google it.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about, he had this near-death experience. And,
oh, yeah?
And
I didn't know he had one.
Came back and he's just like, love is all that matters. I'm great. I have this acting job, bad reviews. Who cares? Like, love is what matters. God is the totality of love. So that's good.
Because you can picture the opposite, which in my mind, like you do encounter sometimes in this world, people who have tremendous knowledge or a sharpness in their thinking. And they may have tremendous command of all these different things. But they're nasty, right? You know what I mean? That they're just kind of, I'm not talking about myself entirely, but, they're just,
I was going to say, I know you're not subtweeting me because I don't have that intelligence thing. I know that there's...
And so he's saying that doesn't rise to this level. That doesn't create that kind of landscape. Because if it's not loving, if it's not warm or compassionate, it's something else.
Yeah, definitely. Even people, that we would we want to have them as a guest on this show, or would we want to go on their shows or something, or do you want to? They got to have that love, or else you're just.